What's good? It's Phoenixstar9, and welcome. We're going to go ahead and interview our guest for tonight, Demetrice Prince. He's an author and poet of the book The Madness in Love. You can reach me at www.phoenixstar9online.com, and you can also reach Demetrice at demetriceprince.com.
Okay, I think we have our guest on the line. Hello.
Hello?
Hi, how you doing? Is this Mr. Prince?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's good. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How's you?
I'm doing pretty good, Hope you're not nervous or anything.
Honestly, just a little bit. I mean, this is my first real interview, but I'm ready to knock it out.
Right. We'll go ahead and get down to business. So, first off, welcome, and I really want to say this. Your drive and the fact that you just that you're just so ready to go ahead and get your work out there and you're willing to do whatever you need to do, that's you don't see that from a lot of people. You don't see that from a lot of writers. Not a lot of people are willing to go ahead and take that big step and do whatever they need to do to reach their dream. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, I've been writing since high school, and it's been my dream ever since graduation to get my word out and let people see that I got talent and, I can write and just try to get out to the masses.
Now, if you can tell us a little bit about who you are and explain to the people who don't know, who are just listening, what it is that you do and how long you have been writing.
Okay, my name is Demetrice Prince. I'm originally from Patterson, Louisiana. Shout out to the P-Town, anybody out there listening. I've been writing since I was 10 years old in 5th grade. I'm married, got 3 kids. Michaela, she's 6. Drew, he's about to be 4 in April. And Taylor, she's going to be 3 in June. My first project that I got together is The Madness in Love. It's a first part of a 3-part series called Reflections in Time. 3 parts are the aforementioned Madness in Love, which is the one that's out right now. After that, it's going to go to Darkness and the Light. And the final part of the series is called Pages from Life. It's just basically stuff that I wrote from back in high school, just from high school up until maybe 2002, 2003, when I started really pushing to get the books out, but ran into some shady dealings and just wasn't with it. So I pulled the plug on the project a couple of times and finally got lined up with the right people and just kept pushing forward, and here I am today.
Good, because a lot of people would have gave up. So it's glad, I'm glad to see that you said, I know this happened, but I'm going to keep on doing what I got to do to get where I want to be. So that's really good to hear. Now about the titles, for your books and the different series that you have out. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're pulling the titles from, or what made you want to title them that?
Yeah, the Madness in Love, the first book, is basically just based on relationships or almost relationships or however you want to look at it that I've found myself in, or I could have found myself in. It's just dealing with a lot of the aspects of being in a relationship, falling in love, falling out of love, fighting, all the little intricacies that involve, being in a relationship. As for Darkness and the Light, it's a little bit of a jump from Madness and Love to Darkness and Light, because Darkness and Light is more of the stuff when I wrote when I was down or depressed or just, sad, just to get it out. That's how I dealt with my depression and my anger or however you want to look at it. I just, instead of going out and handling the situation violently or, doing something that I might have regretted, I just went in and wrote it down in my notebook and just ended it right there, closed the chapter to that situation and moved on to the next one. And Pages from Life is just everyday poems. Just like I was like riding in the car or, just something that comes, a line or two will come to me or a subject will come to me and I'll just write it down or keep it in my head. And then when I got to a piece of paper, I wrote it down. And that's basically the concept for Pages from Life.
Okay. Now, what is your writing process like? Do you follow a regular routine when you go into it, or is it something that just happens?
I just roll with whatever happens. Like if I get a line, I'll just write the line down and I'll try to add on to it. And then if something doesn't work or doesn't sound right, I just put it to the side or write on the side of the paper and just try to build on what I have and then add that line back in and keep it going from there. It's just there's not really a set process of, I have to be in this room with this type of music on, or I just, whenever it comes to me, if I'm at work or I'm on my not at home near any paper, I'll just pull up my app on my phone and write it in there, and then just come back to it later.
Okay, I think that's how a lot of people do it too. Like I can't see just sitting down and trying to like have a set schedule, of something that I'm gonna write. Like it doesn't seem to work like that for me. So cool. Now, to you, what are the most important elements of good writing?
To me, the elements of good writing are you have to have a connection with your reader. If you don't have a connection with your reader and they don't identify with what you're saying to them, then you don't have like a platform to stand on. That's in my opinion. And your words have to just capture them and keep them entertained. That's the only thing that I live by as a writer, just to make that connection, and then everything else just falls into place.
Okay. Now, I know you said that you could be riding in your car, and it kind of just happens. But what motivates you to write? Like, what makes you say, what makes you just stop doing everything that you're doing and, go to your app on your phone or grab your pen or grab your pencil and just start writing?
Honestly, I feel that I was, put on earth to be a writer. So it doesn't matter. That's my dream. That's what I've wanted to be ever since I was 10. I just have to do everything to make it happen.
I feel you on that. Now, do you ever suffer from writer's block?
Yes. Yes, I do. I've talked to some people that say, writer's block doesn't exist, but to me, it exists. There have been plenty of times where I've just, sat down and wrote down the line that I had from before and tried to build on it, and nothing really sounded right. I tried to write myself out of writer's block, but that didn't happen either, so I just put it away for a couple of days and analyzed it and, came back to it, and it went from there. That's how I usually deal with writer's block. I just either try to write my way out of it, and if that doesn't work, then I just put it down for at least 2 days and try to come back to it, try to live life like a normal life without writing, and just come back to it and try to build from there.
Do you ever just leave anything unfinished? Like, do you have a lot of work that goes unfinished, or do you just go back to everything that you write?
There are numerous work that I have in my notebook that aren't finished. And there are some that I'll read after I can't write anymore, and sounds like it looks like it's good enough to be the end point of the poem. So I'll just sign off on it and date it, and that's the poem.
Okay. Okay. Now, as far as like the area that you're in, now where are you from?
I'm originally from Patterson, Louisiana. It's a pretty small town, maybe 1,000 to 2,000, maybe 2,500 people at the most. We've the original home of the saying "Who dat?" If you're into football and you like the Saints, the Saints have the "Who dat?" say they're going to beat them Saints. That was originated in Patterson, Louisiana. We have a lot of we have some star athletes that have come out of Patterson from Patterson High School. We have Ike Hilliard, who played for the New York Giants a couple of years ago. We've had Dalton Hilliard, who had a great career with the Saints. And now we have Kenny Hilliard, who is, he's the all-time leading rusher in Louisiana State history for football, and last season he was a freshman at LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So we have a lot of different athletes coming out. There was Terrence Colley. He was at Louisiana Tech last year. He's a free agent in the NFL right now looking for a job. So it's basically just a sports-driven town. I mean, we've had some other people that have come out of there, but mostly it's just for sports.
Mm-hmm. So nothing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're fine.
So nobody, as far as like any other authors or writers or.
Writing-wise, there are some writers, but there's just more sports and more music, more than compared to writing. Like we have a couple. There's a group of unsigned musicians out there, rappers that I'm pretty close with. First Class Music, shout out to the boys out of First Class, and Duchess, shout out to her too. They're really good, and they're just trying to get their shot, just to prove that, hey, you don't have to be from New York or Atlanta or Miami or New Orleans to rap. You can be from small town Louisiana and get out there and get it done. And that's what me. That's the same aspect that I have. I'm originally from small town Louisiana. Ain't really much to do around there, but just trying to put on for my hometown and tell them that even if you're moved away to get it done, home is always in your heart, and that's how it is with me. I love Patterson. I haven't been there in a while, and I miss it dearly, but I'm getting there, and I'm repping for my home city no matter what, no matter where I'm at. It's P-Town, Patterson for life.
Wow, that's what's up. You just gave the whole city a shout-out. That's what's up. Like, not a lot of people do that.
Right. Like I said, I love my city.
That's what's up. Now, as far as where are you currently located? I'm
currently in London, Ohio. It is a town on the outside of Columbus, which is the state capital. It's about 25 minutes away from Columbus. It's kind of a small town also, like I said, but it's got more like 5,000 to 6,000 people in it, so it's a little bit bigger than my hometown, but it's still small town America, I guess you could say.
So in that current location, do you have like a lot of opportunities? Do y'all have a lot of open mics there?
Most of the open mics are in Columbus. you have to, like I said, just have to drive 25 minutes down the road and get on stage. I've never done an open mic. I just feel that, I mean, I can get into it, but I just haven't actually stepped up to the mic, so to speak, and just went out there and flowed with it. But just, I mean, it's something I'm looking into, and I know I've talked to a couple people in Columbus about it, and I just gotta find the time to go up there between, you know, job and the family and all that, just to get up there and get on stage and show my talents.
Okay, now, and I'm pretty sure you'll find that time to do that. And so whenever you do, let us know so we can put the word out so that the other poets and anybody in that location can go out there and check you out.
Most definitely, I will most definitely do that.
Okay, but that's pretty cool to hear. So you moved. Well, so you grew up in Patterson,
right?
And now you're in Ohio.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you know, I don't want to put you on the spot. I really don't want to put you on the spot, but I think I want to put you on the spot. Your book, The Madness in Love.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about, I believe it's a piece in there. I think if I'm not mistaken, called Faded Pictures.
Yes.
Faded Pictures. Would you mind reading an excerpt from that, just a little bit, for us so that people can get a feel? Yeah, or all of it, the whole thing, if you feel like it.
Yeah, I can do it. It's kind of short, so I can just give you the whole thing. First of all, before I get started with it, a lot of people that have seen it on my website, and people that have bought the book have identified with Faded Pictures a lot. But it's basically the most, the poem that I hear about the most feedback from. So this is called Faded Pictures, and it goes, we dare to touch fate's lips, and we're greeted with the kiss of death. Maybe you planned it that way. I'll never know. You'll never tell. You came, you saw, you conquered, and I'm left with a head full of unwanted memories. And that's Faded Pictures.
Wow. Because it's true. I can kind of see why that's everybody's favorite piece right there, because that's how it happens, unfortunately. But maybe fortunately, I don't know. But all of it, I can definitely relate. I can definitely relate to that. Now, you said that's mostly everybody else's favorite, or the one that you hear about the most. Now, What is your favorite from the book?
My favorite would have to be Dreams, just because the person that I wrote it for back in the day, I mean, I was like head over heels in love with her, but it just didn't work out that way. But I wrote this. This was around 11th, 12th grade when I actually originally wrote it, and it, like I said, it didn't end up the way I planned it to. But it's called Dreams, and it goes, I want to sit across from you in the glow of the lights and exchange gifts with you on Christmas Day. I want to watch the sunrise with you on Easter morning. I want to commit myself to you, to learn more about you, to discover everything about you so I can please you in every way. I want to take a thread of your clothing and sew a tapestry, illustrating all the joy you bring. There's no one in this world who can understand how I feel. A million dreams over the span of a million nights, dreaming of you, a girl, a masterpiece made real. If you looked inside and saw the real me, then everything would be okay. In a world so cold, so callous, and so bleak, you are the only thing that is true. Everything that I've gathered and earned, I'd give to you. Of all I hold dear, you would be held the highest. You hold the key to the door that leads to the fortress that is my heart. In this life and the one to follow, no one could ever love you more. And that's dreams.
Ooh. Now that's a nice that right there. Wow. Well, the person that you wrote it for, I hope they listened originally, but maybe, like you said, it didn't turn out the way you thought it would, but wow. I mean, that would make me listen. And,
right.
I mean, wow. Like, that was the way that you, you threw in a few of the holidays there.
Right.
that was a real nice touch.
That just shows you how head over heels I was.
Wow. Now, and how old did you say you were when you wrote that?
I was 16, maybe 17 at the time.
Wow. I don't know a 16-year-old that does that, that does that type of writing. So, wow. That was really good.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, when you wrote your book, did you learn anything from writing your book, like after it was finished?
Did you say did I learn anything?
Yeah, from writing, after you were finished, like, did you realize anything about yourself, or how did you feel once you were finished writing your book?
Once I was done with it and I found the right avenue to get it out, I was, ecstatic, just because, the thing I've been working for since I was 10 is, I could actually hold it in my hand and say, it's getting published. I'm going to be out there. People are going to see my stuff finally. And I was just overjoyed, and I just had a great feeling of accomplishment that, my dream was finally coming true.
Awesome. And here you are now. Like, not a lot of people get to that point. A lot of people just, again, give up. They might get halfway through doing whatever they're doing or writing, whatever they're writing, and they don't decide to go any further with it. So, that's an accomplishment. Did you take yourself out, to dinner? Did you buy yourself some jewelry or anything after you were finished, or was it just you were happy with just that sense of accomplishment?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I had a couple of drinks to celebrate. Just a couple, maybe, just to celebrate, the accomplishment of finally having a book out that, I did it my way, not listening to a company saying, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, and, you need to pay us this, this, and this. It was, I wrote it, I lined it up the way I wanted, I edited it, it was just me. It was, I wrote it and just decided to take myself out for, a couple drinks and do it up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you got to pat yourself on the back and do a few things after that, You got to reward yourself when you do something that you've been trying to do for so long and finally get it done. So I'm not mad at you for that. Now, what do you like to do when you're not writing?
When I'm not writing, I usually, hanging out with my kids and doing the daddy thing, or I read. And probably the biggest thing that I do is, I play video games. I'm a big video game person. I always have been.
Okay. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, what advice would you have for anybody else that's, that's wanting to write, or that wants to go ahead and start on their own book? Like, what advice would you give to them?
The biggest piece of advice I can give is never give up. Don't ever just, if somebody tells you that you can't do it, or, I don't know what you're writing this for, or why do you want to be a writer for, just never mind them and push them to the side and keep pushing for your goal. I mean, if that's what you really want to do and you have that passion in your heart, don't let anybody stop you from being what you want to be. And that's just not for writing. That's in anything. If you want to be, an athlete, and you tell somebody at 7 years old, I want to be, a basketball player. And as you grow up, you go to camps and all that, and workshops or whatever, and you become the best basketball player you can be. And you never know. One day you might end up being the number one pick in the NBA draft. It's the same thing with writing. Just writing, like for me, writing at 10 years old, I found people, friends, what have you, just that was like, why do you want to be a writer for? Nobody, you'll never make it. You're not you're from small town Louisiana. You don't have a big name. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe you're right, but one day, I won't know until I try. So I tried, and I finally got to that point to where I can put out a book and say, hey, I put out a book. I reached my dream.
Well, now you know what? Not a lot of people are able to say that. So, you're setting an example, especially for your children. You know what I mean? Because they'll be, now you have like a lot of parents or a lot of people that don't even go that distance. So they feel like they have to live their life through their kids, trying to make them be who they want them to be. But you yourself, you took your own path and you decided to do what it is that you felt like you were called to do. So, that's, to me, in my opinion, that's setting a great example for your children. So, I can definitely feel why you would feel that way. Now, let me ask you this as well. How does your family feel about you writing? Like, how has the support been with your friends and your family? Have they always been supportive of your writing, or what's that journey been like?
Oh, my family has had my back no matter what. Even outside of writing, just whatever I've went with, they've supported me. Even deciding to move up to Ohio, they weren't happy about it, but they, you're your own man. We love you no matter what, and we got your back no matter what. So they're very supportive. They, every step of the way that since I've been on my own, they've been right there to help me out, and that's just my family. We look out for one another. We got each other's backs no matter what, and it's just love. It's all love.
Okay. Now, what are you reading right now, and what authors do you actually look up to, or are your favorites?
Right now, I'm actually reading Head Above Water by a good friend of mine named Benjamin Jones. He's a writer out of Texas. We met on Twitter, and we've just been we converse back and forth, every day through email, through Twitter or what have you. And basically, I love his books. He's got a series called Humanity's Ultimate Battle, which is it's based on vampires. I've just thrown that out there. It's not like the whole Twilight, shiny vampire, fall in love type of stuff. It's action packed. It's nice. It keeps you in tune with it. It's a very good piece. Another book that he wrote that I'm actually reading right now is called Head Above Water. It's a romance. It's a romance novel with a little bit of supernatural twist to it. So it's not your run of the mill, fall in love, let's get married, let's have kids. There's some intricate pieces in places in the book that a little supernatural edge to it. And another book that I'm reading, or that I just got done reading and not too long ago, is called Married to Struggle, led by another good friend of mine. His name is Varsity. It's his pen name. He's on Twitter also. I met him through Twitter. He was the first writer that I actually met and or talked to about, trying to get out on my own and do things on my own. And him and Ben basically just basically took me under their wing, just a rookie in the game, took me under their wing and showed me how to self-publish on my own and get into ebooks and all that. So I appreciate them for showing me that. And also I read a lot of like Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes and on the poetry side of things, just to see the history, see where poetry came from, to see where I can take it to in the next the next couple of years. That's how I see just the saying, you don't know where you're going until you know where you come from. That's how I look at that with poetry.
Okay. Those you named some great writers there. They definitely defy the odds. Hello?
I'm here. That was my cell phone.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you. So I didn't know what
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay. Now, I guess for you in your life, aside from writers and everything, but the people in your life, who influenced you the most?
To be a writer, or just in life general?
Just in life general.
Trying to make me cry on the air?
No, I don't want to make you cry. I'm sorry.
I'm joking. This, honestly, my the driving force, if you will, is my dad. He basically did whatever, worked whatever just to make sure that all the kids were happy, and it didn't matter, if he was away driving trucks overnight or, for a couple of days or whatever. He'd always just make sure that, the kids were taken care of, my mom was taken care of, and, we had, food to eat, and, a roof over our head. And, he worked at one job for 21 years straight, and then worked at another job for like 10, 12 years, and then worked at another job for another 10, 20 years, or 10 to 15 years, and, he finally retired. And I just want to, I'm just trying to get to that level to where I can, provide for my family no matter what, and, keep everybody happy. And he's my hero, my idol. I love him to death.
Oh, okay. You know what? And I love my dad too. But that's awesome that you don't really hear a lot of people talk about their fathers being a role model. I haven't interviewed that many people that talk about their dads being their, influence in life. It's usually their mothers. So to hear you speak so highly of your father, that also reflects as far as what type of man that you are. So I respect that, and that's awesome that he influenced you that way. And then, from how you described him, I can kind of tell that it had a big impact on your life. And as far as what you're doing now, as far as, going for your goals and trying to do whatever you need to do. So that's amazing right there. Now, have you ever hated anything that you wrote? Like, did you ever say, you know what, and then just throw it away later? Like,
it's funny that you should mention that. When I was writing, The Madness in Love, I went through I kept some binders from high school and just like from my creative writing class and all that, and I found a whole bunch of stuff that I just, didn't like or put to the side. And looking at it now, being that I'm a little bit more established, so to speak, with writing, I went back and I read, and I wrote some lines to them, and a couple of them I actually finished. And it's kind of funny, being out of school for 12 years now and find something that you wrote when you were like a sophomore or junior in high school, and finishing it at 12 to 14 years later. That's just, it kind of blew my mind that it transcended the 12 years, and I can actually just finish it off, and it was just amazing. It was,
you say you ran across some of your old stuff and was like, oh, hell no. So, I was like, okay. Well, let me ask you this. Now, growing up, whenever you were, I know you said that you put, like, a lot of your feeling into your writing, but when you first started writing, do you remember how it felt when you finished your first poem? Like, or was it poetry that you first started doing when you first started writing?
When I first started writing, I was writing like this one-page stories, like front and back on a piece of loose leaf paper. Just try to pack as much in as I can and finish it in the one page, so to speak. But I actually remember writing that first story in 5th grade and what it was based off of and all that, and where I got the idea from. As crazy as this sounds, I was watching an episode of Family Matters, and it was the one where Steve Urkel wrote a short story based on a detective, 1950, gumshoe detective, and I really loved that episode. And I was like, well, I can write that. So I didn't copy the exact, plot from that episode, but I did my own little detective story. Just did it in one page, and that was the very first thing that I actually wrote creatively.
You got it from Family Matters.
Yeah, I got it from Family Matters. So thank you, Steve Urkel.
That's a great show, though.
Yeah.
A great show, though. Okay. Now, for the people that go and, purchase your book, what do you want them to get out of it? Like what do you hope that they will go from the book, after they're done reading it? What do you hope that they will get from it?
Well, after they read it and see what I went through, I just hope that they, and just enjoyed it. And, if say someone that was my age when I was writing it read it today and was like, wow, this guy's going through the same thing I'm going through. And he made it through, this relationship or this rocky time, or, the problems here and there, or my girlfriend cheated on me, or boyfriend cheated on me, or whatever, just to show them that, hey, things happen in relationships, but there is somebody out there for, there's a person out there for somebody. That's what my mom always told me. There's always somebody out there for everybody. So just that's basically the message I want to get out with the Madness in Love, that no matter what happens, or if you think you're in love, or just to, if you don't think you're the right person and that person's not making you happy, then there's someone out there that is perfect for you, that will make you happy, that will love you no matter what, with all your flaws and, all your imperfections, that someone will love you no matter what.
Oh man. Like, that, I don't know why that struck a chord, but that I think anybody that's like that's really like a hopeless romantic like myself, needs to go and get that book in that case. If it's, everybody needs some inspiration, every now and again from things like that. So, wow. Let me see here. Let me ask you this. If you could go back to that book, to before you wrote your book, The Madness in Love.
All right.
Like, is there anything you would change about it or anything you would add to it?
Honestly, no. I mean, I'm not bragging or saying that it's all that, but there's nothing I would change about how it was written, or the content of it, or how I came across the situation to write about it. Everything happens for a reason, and evidently it was to make it into The Madness in Love, so I wouldn't change a thing.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay. Now, is there anything you would like anybody that's out here listening to know about the book? Like, what's the most important thing that you have to say about the book right now? If you only had like 10 seconds.
If I had 10 seconds, I would say the book is great, not just because I wrote it. The people that have actually got advanced copies of it love it. And, odd thing is there's a person that was in the office, and I was just, saying, hey, I wrote a book. And she read a couple pages out of it and said, wow, whenever you get this book, I'll come back, or whenever you publish it, I will come back in and I will buy a copy. So, I mean, the book is good. Go get it, people. The book is good.
Okay. Now, I think that like, just from this interview alone, I think I need to go ahead and get the book in a little bit. I don't have a Kindle. I believe you. Don't you have it? You have it available on your website. Could you please give the people your website address?
Yeah, go to www.demetriceprince.com. That's DEMETRICE, Prince, just like the singer, .com, and hit up the online store. I got a PDF version for downloading and printing, and I also have a Microsoft Word version for downloading and printing. I just did that a couple of days ago, just thinking about the people who don't have Kindles or Nooks or any type of e-reading device, just to get my work out there to those people who don't have those devices. Also, in the process of looking at getting some hard copy books done, so I can get those out, maybe do a couple signings here and there. But yeah, if you have a Nook or a Kindle, the Kindle version isn't out yet. Just hit up your the Nook store and type in Demetrice Prince or The Madness in Love, and it'll be there. It's $2.99, and enjoy reading.
Okay, you heard that, people. Give them that address one more time. Give them that web address one more time.
That web address is www.demetriceprince.com. Go hit it up, people, right now.
All right. Now, do you have any shout-outs you want to give? Any, anybody that you want to, give a little message to? This is your time right now.
Well, I know I gave them a shout-out earlier, but just want to shout out the whole town of Patterson, Louisiana, my hometown. Even though I left, y'all still in my heart, and I still love y'all. And whenever I get down there, we're doing it up big. Believe that. I also want to give a shout-out to my mom and my dad, Leo Sr. and Rose Prince. I haven't talked to them today, so I usually talk to them like every other day. So if they're listening, guys, I love you, and I'll probably call you right after this. My big sisters, Melissa and Cynthia. My big brother, Leo, I'm the baby of the family. So, thank y'all for, showing me that, keeping me, in line and showing me the way, being the youngin' of the group. My nephew, Jarvis, he's more like my little brother. My niece Jada, my niece Jaleesa, my other nephew Alex, who actually did the cover, or not the cover, he did the inside artwork for the book. There's a little insert it's a pretty nice picture. If you get the book, you'll see what I'm talking about. It captures the madness and love. I hit him up one day, like, nephew, I need a picture from you, because he's an art major in school. And I was like, I just need, something that conveys the madness and love. And he hit it up perfectly. And much shout out to him. He's my in-house illustrator for anything that I need for my books, my upcoming books. So, be on the lookout for him. He's trying to get a website up for he can show his artistic talents to the world, because the boy is talented. Other than that, I'd like to give a shout out to, again, the people out at First Class Music, Smoke Mac, Jetpack, Punchline Mav, just hit up those people on Twitter and listen to their music, just because it's really good. C. Dot, Duchess, Raspy Rawls. I ain't got a chance to kick it with y'all yet, but I love all y'all. Rodash, D Nice, all you guys out there, man. I love y'all. I love y'all music. Keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all gonna make it one day. On the writing side of things, I'd like to give a shout out to Leandra, just for help me out and keep me pushing. You even when I feel like I'm down and out, you hit me up and you keep me going. So thank you for that. I want to thank once again my little writing group, Ben and Julie and Var. You guys are great. I love you guys. And honestly, I want to thank you for having me on your show and helping me out as much as you have. I mean, I've been in some situations where, things haven't worked out and people said they were going to do something and it didn't really do it. And, you stepped in and we've been handling our things. So I appreciate for you and helping me out and having me on your show tonight. Greatly appreciate it.
And that's no problem. I believe that your word is everything. You know what I mean? And your name is everything. So you don't want to mess up either. You know what I mean? And I just believe in staying true, because I wouldn't want somebody to take advantage of me or my dreams, or anything like that. So I think I just would like to kind of help people, get to where they need to be and make sure that they get there. Now, aside from this interview,
before we go, I just want to give out one more shout out to everybody that I talk to on my personal Twitter, Mike Coop and all the other guys out there that I talk to. Y'all keep me laughing. We joke, we laugh, we kick it. It's all love. So just want to say what's up to them.
Okay. Now, where else can people, or how else can people contact you?
I have a Twitter. My Twitter is at the madness in love. It's not just the word in. It's the capital N in love. You can also hit me up on my personal Twitter. It's at Demetrice or at D Prince Writes. If you need, email, if anybody is listening out there for to do an open mic or whatever in the area, just hit me up at Demetrice Prince Writes at gmail.com.
Okay. Okay, y'all heard, people. Now, I want to I do want to thank you. I know I know you're busy, so I want to thank you for, making the time for us to get this interview in and telling us about your work and getting on and reading an excerpt out your book. I really appreciate that. And hopefully, maybe a year from now or sooner than that, we can do a follow-up interview and get you on and, go from there.
Definitely. I don't have a problem with that. I would love to come back to your show.
I appreciate it. So I want to thank you again, and you have a great night.
All right, you too.
All right.
Okay.
Good night.